What's up everybody, JC with Stoner Car Care. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna answer some FAQs on invisible glass.
The first question is, I'm having problems with streaks. What's happening?
So there's two main groups of areas we wanna focus on when cleaning glass. And the thing that makes glass a little bit harder to clean in other surfaces is not only do you have to clean it, but then you have to look through the glass. So we like to think of tools and techniques. So the things on the tool side that you want to focus on are things that are going to not add to the problem of streaks. We specifically designed invisible glass to have zero residue. So anything that you're seeing on your windshield after cleaning is from the soils, the films, the grime that was on the glass. The tools there, you want an absolutely streak-free glass cleaner and you want a premium kind of towel microfiber cloth. There's lots of people that have different preferences on their towels. People like surgical towels, cotton towls. Back in the day, people were using 100% cotton diapers. I still prefer a microfiber. There's different types of microfibers. We've found that waffle weave microfibers are the best for cleaning glass. So if you have a clean, if you're gonna wash it, make sure you do not use fabric softener. Clean microfiber, a premium streak-free glass cleaner. Those tools are gonna help you get clean streak-free glass. Now, as far as techniques, depending on how dirty that glass is, you might need to use different amounts of it. You might need to use a heavy application to break down those soils, get it clean, get another clean microfiber, smaller amount of glass cleaner, and then do your final buffing, getting all the corners, edging, using vertical strokes to make sure you're leaving as little residue as possible. Anything left on the glass has a potential to cause streaks. So that's why once your glass is relatively clean, you only need a very little bit of a glass cleaner to really polish that last bit of soil or streaks off your glass. If you're still seeing streaks, look at your tools, look at your technique, and make sure you are leaving as little residue possible, because anything left on your glass can become a streak.
The second question is, when I'm cleaning my glass in the cold, I'm seeing a lot of stuff left over. What's happening?
So we actually did a short social media post on this a few months ago, and maybe our social media team can get that link somewhere here. But there's actually something going on when you have weather that's going on and you have a colder car than the environment. A lot of what happens is any moisture in the air, or in this case, if you're putting invisible glass on your windshield, it has a tendency to want to stick to the colder surface rather than evaporate. So a lot of that has to do with kind of just the environment and the climate that you're dealing with when you're actually trying to clean your glass. If at all possible, do that in a kind of controlled environment. If you can't, wait till it warms up a little bit. If you absolutely need to clean it when it is cold, just keep buffing with the dry side of a microfiber. It will pull off. It just might take a little bit longer.
The third question is, why is my can spurting or sputtering when I spray it?
For our aerosol product, we do use a liquefied propellant, which is what allows the liquid phase of our product to be expelled in that nice, clean, circular, hollow cone pattern that people have come to enjoy. If it is cold, and we're talking, 40 degrees or below, that does lower the effective pressure of that propellant and can cause some spurts and sputtering, things like that. If that can is allowed to warm back up to room temperature, that problem will go away. As a safety precaution, never heat up a can no matter how cold it is. Don't do that, it's not safe. Let it warm up to room temperature naturally, and that will fix any spurting or sputtering problems.
Fourth question is, what should I do if my can or spray head arrived broken or it won't spray?
So depending on where you got that, some stores don't like return policies, some do. The easiest way, we have a team of dedicated inside sales reps that would be happy to talk to you, happy for you to get your product replaced. So give us a call, send us an email, let us know the details of what happened, and we will be happy to take care of you and fix that problem.
Question number 5, is invisible glass tint safe?
Invisible glass is tint safe, yes. Invisible glass has been used for professionals for decades on all types of glass, all types of cars. It has been proven, tested times over that it is very safe for tint. That being said, anytime you have older tint, aftermarket installed tint that has been aged, worn, things like that, anything could potentially damage that if it hasn't seen a cleaner or a microfiber towel in a few years could potentially damage that. So make sure your tint is in good enough shape to do that. The number one environmental factor that damages tint is the UV rays itself. Tint is installed typically to help protect things that are in your car, keep them cooler, keep them from getting those UV rays. Something has to take that damage, and that ends up being the tint. But as a cleaner, invisible glass is perfectly safe for your tint.
Question number 6, why doesn't the package say ammonia free?
So ammonia is a kind of great all-around inexpensive cleaner. We have chosen not to use ammonia as our cleaning agent for invisible glass. We have a proprietary mix of chemicals in there that does a great job cleaning glass. There are lots of things that are not in invisible glass that we don't put on the can. We prefer to talk about the things that is in our product and that it does well. I mean, technically you could say it's vegan and keto friendly and gluten free and ammonia free. You could say all those things. Obviously that's a little bit in jest, but we prefer to focus on what is in the product and what it does well.
Our next question, why are the wipes dry and leaving streaks?
So one of the hardest things about developing the wet wipes is finding that moisture balance. Now there's technically two things could be happening there. If your wipes have been dried out from the lid being left open or closed or pinched on the wipe, that will dry out. A quick fix for that, open the trigger bottle or put a couple sprays in there. Again, it's the same liquid formulation. You can kind of rehydrate those wipes. But on the development side, striking that right balance of what people prefer as far as how dry they are, how wet they are. When you're using an aerosol or trigger sprayer, people can put as little or as much product as they prefer to clean on their microfiber or on the glass itself. When it's a pre-moistened wipe, we have to make that determination for you. And we have to understand that people are cleaning everything from small glasses lenses to potentially windshields. And to cover that whole spread of size and potentially temperature, if you're out in a parking lot during the summer and your windshield's warm, that wipe is going to dry quickly. In order to get streak-free glass on a pre-moistened wipe, you need to use technique, maybe even more critically than when you're using a dry microfiber with the trigger spray or the aerosol. You really need to get the majority of the dirt off with that first wipe or two, depending again on how big of a surface you use. And you need to continue wiping then with a clean wipe until it is dry to get a streak-free glass with a pre-moistened wipe. Some people for spot cleaning will use a wipe to clean up some bird poop or bug splats and then hit it with a dry microfiber. That's another way of getting streak-free glass with a pre-moistened wipe. Again, the wipes are more of a convenience play, and it is a lot harder to hit the range of everything people wants to clean. Again, from your cell phone to your windshield, that's a big spread, which can cause some complexity.
Our next question is, why aren't you covering up the smell of invisible glass?
So one of the first things that we did with invisible glass was try to make that absolutely zero residue. Lots of fragrances that people put in products have some residue or heavier molecular weight that can cause streaking. Invisible glass was started with professional glass cleaning. In the garages, people don't mind that. It's a very kind of natural smell. It's the natural smell of the chemicals we use to clean the glass. As we test and experiment, if we can find fragrances down the road that can meet the high expectations of invisible glass, we can test with that and we can incorporate those into the product. To date, we've stayed no soaps, foam, dyes, or scents to maintain that zero residue glass cleaning.
And finally, our last question, why aren't the ingredients listed on the package?
If we told you, we'd have to kill you. No, but in all reality, we meet all federal, state, local labeling regulations on all of our products. There are actually some generic things listed on our products, on what is in it, to make sure that everybody who's using it knows what they're exposing themselves to with our product and that it is safe. However, we are a small family-owned, privately held business. Our intellectual property is what allows us to stay in business. So we need to keep what we can as close to our chest as we can, making sure that we're communicating all the critical safety usage needs to our consumers, but we do need to keep that with Stoner.
All right, so we stopped recording. What's actually in it?
Invisible glass? It's just a blend of